When we think about Sawan, we often think about what we can offer to Mahadev. Water on the shivling, bilva leaves, fasting on Mondays, reciting Om Namah Shivaya. But there is another form of devotion that doesn't necessarily happen inside a mandir. Sometimes devotion looks like seva, serving someone who needs help, feeding someone who is hungry, caring for an animal, helping our parents, giving quietly without expecting anything in return. And perhaps Sawan gives us a beautiful opportunity to remember that bhakti isn't only about what we offer to God. It can also be reflected in how we treat His creation. Welcome back to Sawan Diaries. Throughout this series, we have explored so many ways devotees connect with Mahadev during Sawan. From vrat and abhishek to mantras, festivals, and sacred stories. But today I want to talk about something much simpler, Seva, and how even a small act of service can become part of our spiritual practice. The Sanskrit word seva is generally understood as service. But spiritually, seva can mean something deeper than simply helping someone. It is a service performed with humility, without constantly asking, what am I going to get from this? This idea of selfless action appears throughout Sanatan Dharma. One of its clearest expressions can be found in the Bhagavad Gita, where Sri Krishna teaches us to perform our actions without attachment to their fruits. We don't necessarily have to leave our ordinary lives behind in order to live spiritually. Our actions themselves can become part of our spiritual practice when they are performed with the right intention. And I think that's a beautiful way of understanding Seva. Sawan is especially associated with devotion to Lord Shiva. Many devotees increase their worship during this month through vrat, puja, mantras, pilgrimage, and abhishek. But alongside all of these practices, perhaps Sawan can also make us ask, can I become a little more compassionate? Can I give a little more? Can I make somebody's life a little easier? And when we look at Mahadev himself, we find an incredibly powerful example. During the Samundar Manthan, the deadly halahal poison emerged, threatening creation. Mahadev accepted that poison to protect the world, and that is why we remember him as Nilkant, the blue-throated one. Of course, Seva doesn't mean literally taking on somebody else's suffering, but perhaps the story can inspire us to look beyond ourselves. To notice when someone needs help, and when we are able to help, to do it. And this is the part I especially love. Seva doesn't have to be some enormous gesture. You could donate food to a food bank, prepare a meal for someone who needs it, give water to people working outside during the summer, donate clothes or necessities, volunteer at a mandir or community organization, help an elderly neighbor, care for animals, leave clean water for the birds, check on someone who's having a difficult time, or simply sit with somebody who feels alone. And Seva doesn't necessarily require money. Sometimes the most valuable thing we can give another person is simply our time. Seva can begin at home, and I think this part is sometimes overlooked. When we hear the word Seva, we might imagine going somewhere to volunteer. But service can begin with the people already around us. Helping our parents, caring for our children, preparing food for our family, sitting with an elderly relative, helping someone before they even have to ask, calling someone who might be lonely. Even ordinary responsibilities can be approached differently when they're performed with love, patience, and awareness. Not every household chore automatically becomes religious seva, but the principle of karma yoga reminds us that our intention matters. Sometimes an ordinary action can be performed with an extraordinary amount of love. And perhaps one of the most beautiful and hardest forms of seva is doing something good when nobody knows you did it. No praise, no recognition, no photograph, no social media post, no expectation that the other person now owes you something. Because the moment our kindness becomes, I did this for you, what are you going to do for me? Something about that selflessness begins to disappear. None of us will do this perfectly. We're all human. But perhaps Sawan can simply give us an opportunity to practice, one small act at a time. So before Sawan ends, here's something we can all try together. Choose one act of seva. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to cost anything. And you don't have to tell anybody you did it. Do something kind for another person, an animal, your community, or someone inside your own home. And quietly offer that action to Mahadev. No reward needed, no recognition. Just Mahadev, let this be part of my devotion. Because perhaps one of the most beautiful offerings we can make during Sawan isn't something we place upon the shivling. Perhaps, sometimes, the offering is the way we choose to live. And in our next episode of Sawan Diaries, we're moving into one of the most colorful traditions of the monsoon season, Harayali Tej. Green clothes, mehendi, bangles, swings hanging from trees, songs and celebrations. But behind all of those beautiful traditions is a story deeply connected with Mata Parvati and Mahadev. So in episode 17, we'll explore what Harayali Tej actually celebrates, its connection with Mata Parvati's devotion to Shiva, and why the festival became so closely associated with Sawan and the arrival of the monsoon. Until then, Har Har Mahadev.